I'm so sincere, won't live a lie. I don't believe you've grown at all. Watch me progress, won't see me focus. You said you love me, nah, but you tripping when I leave. Got you acting so broken hearted. I've already filled your spot, but it's hard to believe my evolution since we started. You said you love me, nah, but you tripping when I leave. Got you acting so broken hearted. I've already filled your spot, but it's hard to believe my evolution. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. Now you can't touch me, you can't love me, you can't fuck me anymore, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. Now you can't touch me, you can't love me. Whoa. I called 1,000 times, tried to compromise, but I made up my mind to leave all things behind. Mercury retrograde, got you missing what you know. It's better to separate past experiences from the new. You said you love me, nah, but you tripping when I leave. Got you acting so broken hearted. I've already filled your spot. It's hard to believe my evolution since we started. Now you said you love me, nah, but you tripping when I leave. Got you acting so broken hearted. I've already filled your spot. I bet it's hard to believe. I bet it's hard to believe. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. Now you can't touch me, you can't love me, you can't fuck me anymore, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. I cut the cord, bitch. I cut the cord. Now you can't touch me, you can't love me. If you're living in the past, ground yourself in what you have. Some old things ain't meant to last. Learn the lesson, now you know. We were always meant to grow. Self-reflection turns to gold. If you're living in the past, ground yourself in what you have. Some old things ain't meant to last. Used to minimize my gift. Now I'm feeling bigger. Put it all together. I got the big picture. Focused on my health. Hearing God clearer. Started on this path. Now I got the agenda. Never looking back. Forward I go. Remember how Lot's wife turned into Saul. When you can't figure it out, don't know what's your next move. Give it all to God, baby. Stay in tune. I'm in tune. I'm in tune. A big move. I'm in tune. Catch this groove. So are you. I'm in tune. I'm in tune. A big move.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey,
what is your mark?
hey, 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 hey. All my exes want a house in Texas, yeah, yeah. All my exes make it heaven rather than fake stressing. I'm in places you vacate, I fulfill as my destiny. Guardian of the East, looking west. Say my cook for best, ain't around the sheep. Not collecting beasts, act as if they slept. Walk around like sleep, I can see beneath. Service tension, I write H2O, the only son of dream. Hey, really I got presence, really I got pace. Really I got methods, met upon late stretches, stretch upon my face. Hey, really why I'm gorgeous, live with inner orgies. For the 10 of swords, I can't be living porcelain. I'm way too important by my faith. Really I ain't trying to save anybody for anybody, because anybody should've won my space. Spinning out of my denim models, I'm finna prod along with my day. Many men said a wolf will fade, feel again, all this shit J. On the stars, how to reach my gates. God, I'm grounded on my feet. Lily came back knocking, I ain't in a adultery. Really I would like to share, but that's just all a feast. So I meet her ass with solid, same way I sounded to me. While I live on my island, mending gardens, planting peace. I focus on my cues, so I don't question where I be. I focus on my bills, so I'm not passing about no fee. My water is pristine, okay, she wallow just with me, okay. Swallow your deceit, okay. Water just your seed, hold space for blossoms, no opossum gossip. Don't get back to me today, I got two lists, blooming fumes and turn my heart with much to say. This time I'ma listen, they say peace. Guardian of the East, looking west. Ain't no book to test, ain't around the sheep. Not collective beasts, act as if they slept. Walk around and sleep, I can see beneath. Surface tension, I rock H2O, the only son to drink. Holy Steve.
Really got killers under the sun. They shoot for me but need no gun. I say the word, it's already done. Turn your 10 of cups to a 1. Pour your soul in a goblet, got your chick still goblin. Must be hooked like phonics, yeah, I'm the creator but ain't no goblin. Got that Aldebaran flow. If you didn't know, I rock with Gabe, I rock with Raph and Uriel, cause they're my folks. Demon slaying, putting devils in their place on the low. Keep my head up high, getting high with weed about with my dough. I got space and I got time, you got your life, your soul is mine. I don't practice Santeria, but everything I do sublime. I don't have any crystal balls, but you can suck my own. Still renting apartments, almost 40, but still ain't bought no home. All these damn distractions while my focus, but I'm still in my zone. Know that I should grow up and do better, but I just want some dome. Don't keep no one around me, never lonely, even when I'm alone. Make shit from the heart, I take it everywhere, cause that's my home. I'm the
Guardian of the East, looking west. Ain't no buddy test, not collect the sheep. Walk around like sleep, claiming that we slept. I've been in my dreams, I've been in my seas, in my depths. How to bring my home everywhere I step. As the Guardian of the East, looking west. Guardians of the East, looking west. Ain't no buddy test. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, take my hand again, take my plant, take my plant, take my hand again, take my plant, read about it, least is easy, heavy clouded, feeble knees, like my step, no thanks, I'm impressed, okay, I digress, through my chest, try my best, but you choose Simon says, until you wanna say, you're on a way. Till then, I'm a silent sage, light the way with marijuana haze. Did a lot of pain, had a lot of weight, ain't know how to talk about it. Kept shit for the hideaway. I felt safe knowing hiding places. Self-hate wear a lot of faces. Self-hate got a lot of hugs. Self-hate got a lot of patience. Self-hate got arranged with Dr. Strangers in some Cabo basements. I'm highly favored. If you try to bet on me, you'll see the odds are tapered. Get some good teeth movement. I was in the knee movement. I don't feel bad about it, no. I just wanna be included. Now I know it's into it. Everything you need into it. I don't let it go to head, that's the older legend. I don't feel stupid. My light built synagogue. I make shit fall from the fucking sky. I make money grow on trees. I make y'all ponder why y'all never go and touch the Z. I understand it's much implied. Why the fuck can y'all fuck with me? Why can't y'all fucking see? Light got you on a fucking leash. You try living like a leech. Now you're stuck living on a knee. Caught up in the king of disrespect. Should've seen how I summon me. Summer breeze in a sort of fake. Yeah, now I gotta pump some keys. Yeah, now I got my lungs squeezing. Lush reason, trust we can do this. I make me music. I make we music. I make we I make steam music. I make squeak. I make we music. I think we do this. I say we tune this. I say we brew this. I say we do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey, ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey, ooh, hi. Ooh, hi. Hey. Coming soon by the splurge. I took the teller you heard. I be the separate word. I be the best of atrocious. I'm here to settle the word. I'm here to better the earth. I'm making new out of ocean. Devils in tune in this moment.
Roll up, singing out death hymn, bitch. Looking at the mirror like death hymn, ayy. Chilling with the reapers, that's death kin. Yeah, ice all over, I'm flexing. Call me Ovechkin, all you my stepkids, bitch. Something like God, I'ma step in, ayy. Walking my talk, I'm stepping. Yeah, got him in shock how I step it. Soon as I stepped in.
Hey, soon as I stepped in this part of the country, I started to part bloody burgundy seas. Who could contest against death? I predicted recess in my heart and I kept the receipts. Life is a landfill with lanterns of manners we grew accustomed to, so we had some standards. But what goes up must come down, it's my crown to show you how to land on your feet.
It's going down, we up. I'm calling it magic, they calling it luck. They gave someone else the crown, but I'm still the king without it. How can you doubt it? You was a square, that's why you can't get round it. Say and scheme, you know that we bout it. What the game been missing, I found it. Your life in my hourglass ticking, I'm counting.
Part of these tangent, I call it candy, cause candy with conscience is sweet until you losing teeth. And your man, them don't understand, so you the shit dangling feet. I live my life on the edge, fuck what was done, I was said. I recite truth throughout life, fuck would I ever be scared of the motherfucking dead.
I'm on the edge, don't push me. Yeah, Ebo boy Ian push me. Ayy, wondering where life took me. How it led me to you, it's your B-day. Strip you down in your suit. I don't need guns or a bullet to shoot. I just say the word, all that falls is doom. When you see me, it's the end. Just know that your death coming soon. Goodbye, bitch.
Death coming soon by the splurge. I took the teller you heard. I be the separate word. I be the best of atrocious. I'm here to settle the word. I'm here to better the earth. I'm making new out of ocean.
Yeah, rolling up, singing out death hymn, bitch. Looking at the mirror like death hymn, ayy. Chilling with the reapers, that's death kin. Yeah, ice all over, I'm flexing. Call me Ovechkin, all you my stepkids, bitch. Something like God, I'ma step in, ayy. Walking my talk, I'm stepping. Caught him in shock, I stepped in. Soon as I stepped in.
Soon as I stepped in this bitch, I get treated with smiles like presidents. If you are seeking the trial, my presence is costing about the same weight as your prejudice, huh? I always spawn this shit, settle shit. Ain't no my way, I happen to find elegance, huh? Relish it, my embellishments are embedded in what we call sedatives, huh? I just been looking around, look for the talk of the town, hey, hey. But I've been putting it down, how can I lose what was found? Hey, hey, never been stranger to source. I got some knowledge of season, shaking this shit I can't breathe. Without a bitch on the come cause me.
Tell that bitch she won't succeed, cause she don't succeed. I called her a beat and gave her the B. She know I'm a G, they wanna be me. They copy my whole flow, style out of the D. Really live it, watch me kill it. Man up physics, breaking limits. Say you did, but really you did. Death on my mind, I'm minding my business.
6'6", I've been at it like Mike Jack. Sick of the swim, do you need a life jack? I'm like a life hack, I want a light side to get in the building. If you don't like it, listen, how you feeling? It ain't my point to care much about appealing. I am more focused on walking my toe. I fuck what I care if you don't wanna listen. I make musical chairs out of an intervention. Like, is this a roast? Who the fuck wrote the script? I get it, you don't know too much about the kid. Sit back and watch, so I hustle my shit. Not too big in the south, but I'm big in my crib. Love to my family and love to the fifth. A plug for a lover, a dove or a kid. I'm only gon' dish what I'm willing to get.
Predictive. What's good, y'all? Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio ceremony. I appreciate y'all like the video. I was almost worried the video wouldn't be good enough for some people, but you guys gave the best feedback. So I'm gonna start doubting and all that. But happy full moon in Scorpio, y'all. Somebody in the IG chat asked, things are going absolutely crazy in front of my eyes and I can't get up, can't do anything about it. How can I manifest action in others? And I highly recommend looking up Taylor Tukes on YouTube or Instagram. She is no nonsense when it comes to manifesting now, not later, like now. And one of the videos she made, this is what happens when you affirm for them. This is what happens when you affirm for them and let go. She did one a month ago and 8 days ago. It's really no different than manifesting for yourself. You're just casting it for someone else and you don't attach to the results because it's already done, my friend. So as you can see, we're at 182 degrees. 23 degrees of Scorpio is 181, and 24 is 182 within this cycle. 2 degrees ago was 180. We have officially begun to harvest this final innovation of natural energy. Taylor Tukes, okay? Taylor and then Tukes, Tookes. All right. I'm not going to, really make this too long. I kind of just want to really break down what the next 2 weeks is going to be, because everything moving forward from here is go time. By the time we end Taurus season, Saturn is going to be 29 degrees Pisces. So through Gemini season, Saturn's going to go into Aries. Okay, Saturn going into Aries is initiating this new world order cycle. We're on new world order time. So if you're looking at the news, I did kind of mildly predict Mars opposing Pluto in Aquarius. It wouldn't be surprising after I did mention how Mars retrograding back into Cancer is reevaluating how nations feel. And now that it's opposing Pluto, by the time we step into August, it wouldn't be surprising if we're in full scale war. I've always been hinting at the nature of war kind of picking up. I'm not going to make any official predictions because we tend to look at the spark of war relative to certain skirmishes and conflicts. But if you already knew, World War III started like 2022 as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine. Like I don't want to say that, but like considering if you look at all that as like the backstory that led up to what's happening, I don't really look into current events, but people are talking about India and Pakistan. China's involvement could pretty much trigger that because, the U.S. is going to support India, and then Russia and Ukraine are still going at it. You know what I mean? So these don't have to really be the sparks, but this is not happening for no reason. Uranus is coming out of Taurus. The last 2 times Uranus was in Gemini, we had World War II around the 1940s. And then we had Civil War around the 1800s where Neptune was in Aries, okay? And the reason why Uranus and Gemini coincides with these conflicts, as you can see, like Uranus at the end of Taurus is the preview. Ye has a song that's banned on all streaming platforms. White people are coming out more to say, I should be able to say nigga or nigger. You know what I'm saying? All sorts of cultures are revolutionizing what they can or can't say. This brings to, I'm not trying to focus it on one race because it's happening with every race, happening with every culture, but it's adding. So if you think the stuff people are saying is crazy now, this is just the preview. It's nothing compared to what people are going to be saying from 2025 to 2033. Like that whole Uranus Gemini transit is definitely going to bring this to the forefront. This is what stimulates conflict, where you have people coming out in the streets, third house, Gemini, to really speak on this. So massive revolution is underway in all forms. I'm not going to tie it to just one thing. The reason why this is important is we need to go back, and let me kind of show you how this works, because in a month from now, Saturn is in Aries, baby. Look at this. Saturn is in Aries. Jupiter is getting ready to trine this. Saturn going into Aries, Gemini is the first change. Virgo is the integrative second change. Sagittarius is the breakthrough third change. And then Pisces is the conclusion final change. So Saturn going into Aries while we start Gemini season, you're going to begin to experience everything begin to happen. All the countries that have to take the actions, because what am I saying? In 30 years from now, let's actually go 27 years into the future. In 30 years from now, where Saturn returns to Pisces and Neptune's in Gemini and Uranus is in Virgo. Mind you, the last time Uranus was in Virgo was the 60s, where Pluto was in Virgo, okay? The way that the world landscape is going to look, the kids you have now, by the time they're 30, it's going to look unrecognizable. A lot of countries will not exist. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of countries or nations that don't exist will exist in 30 years. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll call it out. But that's not even a prediction. Like, that's just common sense. In 30-year cycles, it's not too far to think that certain countries would, right? But that being said, the whole point of what I'm saying is the actions that are happening now are setting up the nature of what's going to look like in 30 years. And that's where I want to invite you to look back at the last 30 years, because 98 was where Saturn left Aries. 96, 95, 96, and 97 to 98 was that last cycle. The reason why we don't consider this a new world order, because it was a new cycle, shout out to my homie King Mitchell, my brother right here. The reason why we don't necessarily consider this the new world order cycle is because Neptune was still in Aquarius. So we have the 30-year cycle every 30 years. If we go back another 27 years, shout out to my 70s, right? The people who were born, like, of course, in the late 60s, by 62. Let me kind of push that. By like the late 60s, pretty much, we did have Saturn back in Aries. This is around the period my parents were born. For those of you with boomer parents, this is around the period they were like in their 10s, their 5s, their 6s. So we have to go back to 67. Where was Neptune? It was in Scorpio. Let's go back another 27 years. I'm wanting to show you how, okay, the 40s, right? What we're going to do on this channel now, that once I finish teaching the basics, we're going to do documentaries that look into the Saturn-Pluto cycles, because looking at the Saturn cycles, Saturn that rules timing, will let you know really the language of how the collective is expressing itself. And when we base these Saturn 30-year cycles around Neptunian cycles, which are 165 years, around Plutonian cycles, which are 248 years, hence President Trump's generation, the Pluto-Leo generations, born in the conformist era of the 1940s, where we started to see a surplus. I paid a little bit of attention in history class in high school, where we started to, after like the Great Depression, we started to see the proliferation of marketing through conforming, nuclear families. You had the Pluto-Leo, the Hollywood era, where we rolled out the red carpet around this period, right around World War II. This is where Pluto is where it is opposite now. So Pluto in Aquarius was originally in Leo in the 1940s. And as you can see, Neptune was in Virgo. If we go back another 27 years, what do we see here? We see, of course, Neptune was in Cancer. Let's go back a little bit. If we go back, like, of course, by the early 1900s, that was when Saturn was last in Aries there. So this Saturn Aries transit is very significant, because unlike previous 30-year cycles, now Neptune is in Aries. The last time we had the Civil War, think of that when you look at America's current tensions, okay? Pluto is in Aquarius, whereas in the 1940s, it was in Leo. What do we know about Pluto in this position in Aquarius? This was shortly after America became America. 1776, Pluto was at the end of Capricorn, okay? So we're revisiting this. Pluto is eventually going to complete its cycle. Uranus has already completed its cycle. The last time Uranus was in Taurus, America went through that Great Depression. This was that World War II era. So everything is set back in place, baby. And with this full moon, right, the reason why this is significant, everything moving past from here, it's going to, Listen, if you think that the stuff that you have seen is crazy and whatnot so far, you haven't seen shit yet. This is all just a precursor, my friends. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to the Leo King. Someone clip this video, share this with him. It is what it is. A lot of people hate on the Leo King, but like, you know, his astrology is legit, man. Like, he was the only one who predicted that the Pope who got selected was going to be selected. I didn't do any predictions. When I looked at the Pope Leo's chart, I saw he was a Virgo, the South Node's going through his sun, easy selection. And I can tie that into how President Trump, the North Node was going through his rising. And the election before that, the North Node was going through Kamala and Joe Biden's rising. And the election before that, the North Node was going through Trump's rising. So I'm going to do a special video to show you the element of the nodes and how that's crucial in determining who's destined to win certain elections and picking stuff. And we're going to go back to test to see when this no longer happens. So before we can say this is what it is, we're going to go back from this president and we're going to keep going back and see where it stops so that we can say, hey, this really happened. We might find that it stops before Bush, because it applies with Bush too. This pattern applies with Trump, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush. It goes back as far as Bush. So we're going to take it beyond Bush and see if that pattern still goes on, and you'll see astrology in action. You feel me? So that being said, you know, shout out to the Virgos with Ketu on your sun. It's a huge deal. Shout out to the Pisces with Rahu on your sun, the North Node. It's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? Bush Jr. So we're gonna see if it applies to his Gemini father, Bush Sr., to Bill Clinton. Like, this is the part of astrology that gets fun because we apply it with case study and all that. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Shout out to the plot power. You know, the events that are going to occur after this full moon, George Walker Bush, the events that are going to occur after this full moon are going to unconventionally catch you up to speed so we can activate this new Gemini cycle. And what's the best way to put this? Like I've been saying before, March 20th, 2020, March 21st, 2021, sorry, March 21st, 2020, I will keep saying it's not an original idea. I feel like I got this. Someone had mentioned this before, and then I looked it up and I realized, oh, this is what this is. This was the official start date of the apocalypse, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Some wild shit to say, but the chart doesn't lie. Okay, we have famine, we have war, we have pestilence, we have death. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in that order: Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, and Saturn. I even used different cycles with H1N1 and H2N3 to show that when Jupiter and Pluto meet, there is a pandemic that happens within the world. Okay, so with that being said, we do have this confirmation. This is what we call the beginning of the end. Why do we call it that? Because the end game is Capricorn, it's Aquarius, it's Pisces. They happen in phases. We look at the zodiac signs individually, but that's just for us to break it down in its components. Your body system doesn't just work one at a time. It works all in unison. So those last 3 zodiac signs will represent the end game, the final part of the movie. Capricorn is the beginning of the end. Saturn and Pisces is the end of the end. And once we step into Saturn Aries, you guessed it, we are at the new world, Saturn in Aries order, the new Aries world order, Saturn. Okay. This is beautiful because my introduction to the new world order was from Illuminati conspiracy theories, right? And now I'm learning that this is more aligned to a cyclical factor that isn't influenced by our planets, but the ELF waves from them do vibrate. So in that sense, you know, based on the Earth as a tuning system. So this is what personally you could see as a power grab, right? If you look at these countries in bid for control over spaces to secure their existence over the next 30 years, this makes all the children born from 1995 and beyond the most important. because they're coming of age. Now that, all the people born 95, 96, Saturn is starting to return. These are the kids that are going to awaken the new world and create the new world on a God level. The last time these kids were born, we had Boston Tea Party massacres or marathons, civil wars, or really revolutionary wars at such a young age. And they're back again, a whole generation of crash outs. You feel me? By the way, if your kid is a Pluto Sagittarius, you gave birth to a crash out. And if they're born after 2000, they're a super crash out. You know the OG crash outs they look up to? NBA Youngboy, XXX Tentacion. I'm not even like looking down on them for that. These are the OGs they look at. These are certified crash outs, man. So like, it doesn't matter if they're not in the streets. It doesn't matter if they're good school children. They're still a crash out. You gave birth to an intentional crash out. This generation from 95 to 2008 is only concerned with burning the world up. They have judged the world. They have seen that it's not fair. And now they shooting CEOs with 3 shell casings. I'm going to keep saying this. Y'all gave birth to crash outs. And then if you have a Pluto Capricorn, you gave birth to a ruler of the new world. They're building nuclear reactors at 12 years old and having 6-figure paying jobs. You know what I'm saying? They're teaching me that, the reason why my life is not, it could have been better is because I didn't secure a mortgage for a new house at 12 years old. What's up with us millennials? I guess I took that joke from social media. What's up with us millennials, bro? Like, why didn't we lock in and learn how to pay taxes and buy houses at 15 and 9? You know what I'm saying? We're just so entitled. We didn't even get our paperwork right. We graduated college around our 20s to 30s. What's wrong with us? Anyway, it is what it is. Boom. I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. I think I have jokes sometimes. So that being said, guys, once Gemini season starts, it should be spooky for you because you're going to start to experience this. Now, what is also going to be experienced is the effect of the value we've produced through Taurus. So Aries was you activating power. We now generated energy from that power. When you generate energy, when you turn the fan on, and the fan starts generating energy, as you can see in that fan right there, what is the mutable magic effect of the power that's generated energy to this fan? It, with this fixed mechanic, produces wind. Okay, so Gemini season is that produced effect that's going to be based off of Aries and Taurus season. That's why we do it in threes. We have the Aries, Taurus, Gemini, then we have the Cancer, Leo, Virgo effect, then we have the Libra action, Scorpio, Sag effect, climax, then we have the Capricorn, Aqua, Pisces effect, conclusion, and we start the story again. That's why I like to use storylining as an example, because if you can look at the zodiacs as what stage of a story it's in, life starts to spell itself out to you. You start to realize why certain people are in certain positions, playing out their own archetype with which through nurture and nature, they kind of, contribute and align with whatever intelligent design. So that being said, y'all, okay, whether you think it's evolutionary or not, a design is a design, you feel me? So this full moon that's now at 25 degrees, right, is harvesting the past 2 weeks of you activating this unconventional value. As you can see, in about a year from now, Uranus, after retrograding into Taurus, will now be in Gemini. You know what I'm saying? It's going to start its cycle. We're going to have the first Sun, Uranus, Gemini. After the first Sun, Neptune, Saturn, and Aries. So next year is going to really be this official start. GTA 6 is going to come out unless they postpone it to 2030. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? I could see them putting it out this year because now everything's going to roll out properly. Even the delays are really aligned, even though we don't want to admit that. And I'm not really speaking of GTA 6 as far as playing GTA 6, and I'm definitely going to bring back the peace talks. I definitely got you. It's just what GTA 6 represents for the generation is what I'm excited about and what it's going. Oh my goodness gracious. Ooh. Oh shit. Yeah, no. We got damn, my bad. Yes, it's what it means for the generation. You feel me? Yeah, word. So, it definitely it definitely prepared you to realistically, step into a very unique set of, a whole lot of what you can produce moving forward. You feel me? It is what it is. Hey, don't worry about that. I was just thinking about GTA 6. I was thinking about how crazy GTA 6 was gonna be. No, I just saw a picture of some GTA 6 graphics. So it is what it is. But yeah, you feel me? This natural innovative quality, as we can see with Uranus and Taurus, this is what's going to finalize this instant manifestation protocol. You feel me? So the reason why moving forward from this, you're going to realize things are just coming through instantly, right? Isn't because you haven't been instant manifesting until now. You've been instantly manifesting. Yes, official Hall of Fame. Thank you. And once you send me to that, I can play that on this channel. Appreciate you. Shout out to Hall of Fame. Incredible Capricorn. I think he's born 93. Very gifted, very talented. So with that being said, guys, what we're going to focus on for this full moon is, now that the 2 weeks have passed, we've activated the Taurus cycle. We integrated it through the moon in Leo, right? And now the moon is in Scorpio. This is putting you in a position to realistically break through. The reason why I love full moon periods is you legitimately break through during this period. So we had, of course, set the all wealth spell, okay? And this is putting you in a position, Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. I don't know what you talking about, Marilyn. It is what it is. I don't know if that's what I see. But like that being said, you feel me? This full moon breakthrough, the all wealth spell we put in, right, is I have all power, I have all knowledge, I have all presence. You want to, of course, assume that you have, thank you. So you've already seen effects of this. This, in repeating this either once or over and over, has activated and integrated this through your reticular activation system and pressing your subconscious. You're going to start to see an avalanche and breakthrough of now the quality you have let in. And all you have to do is now carry yourself and value as someone who has all wealth. Yes, it is that simple. So when you start to respond in ways energetically, psychologically, mentally, that affirm a false state of yourself, what society wants to make you believe you are, anything but limitless, you are wavering and going back to that. But, as far as reinforcing this, you're going to see, as soon as Moon in Sagittarius, the transformation of your behavior around this. And that has a lot to do with Uranus and Taurus. You have always been instantly manifesting your whole life. Okay, can we still work with this, PD? I'm creating a digital project and launching this week. Well, absolutely. It's yours forever. You can work with this whenever you want. And that's what we teach with astrology. You're not a slave to the transits, right? So some people teach astrology in a sense where, you got to choose this date and you can't go here because of this. That's not what we teach. Like, you are the ruler. You command the stars. So when we look at planet transits, it's like booking a flight. It's like, it's going to rain on this day. I can still book my flight on this day, but do I want to fly when it's raining? Or I do want to fly when it's raining. You don't let the transits rule you. You pick and choose what you want to work with. You're the alchemist that is taking your vibration and working with these energies. So we want to really, the planets don't affect you to the point where they rule your decision making. You use that for, co-creation and whatnot. So with that being said, this harvest over the next 2 weeks is going to show you the results of your work, okay, from harvest to completion. And the reason why that's very significant is with the Sun Uranus, the instant manifestation you've been doing your whole life, you're going to start to notice since 2018, because the process is done. You have had contradictions relative to what you are affirming and desiring versus latent value you may have not honored or acknowledged, unconscious ways in which you may have allowed others to devalue you. So this represented knots in the hose from 2018. Now that we're at the last signature, all the knots are gone. You have much more of an aligned sense to the unconventional nature of your worth, which wealth is a much more unconventional. You can invest in a meme coin or a solid crypto. You're a millionaire overnight or over time. You know what I'm saying? This is innovating like the last time Uranus was in Taurus and new deals had to be signed by Roosevelt and the 1933 gold standard, which now created latent equity for people in just America. Like these are just examples of financial revolutions that we're going through again. And now when Uranus goes into Gemini, everything's going to talk to you. Your TV is going to talk to you more. Your car is going to talk to you more. Smart homes, smart cities. That's 2025 to 2033. The technology already exists. They're going to start implementing it. And that's not even really a prediction. That's just common sense. You feel me? Like that's looking at the innovation through Gemini of communication and smart Uranus technology, Uranus, Gemini, smart technology. All right. You know what I'm saying? Your money is going to talk to you. You know what I mean? So that being said, it's a very exciting time to be in. And it's important to know that these next 2 to 4 weeks are going to be pandemonium and mayhem. And if you stand on the values that you've activated and integrated, when the winds of Gemini blow and all those people who built their values on shifting sand, on truth that's not really true, they're going to be blown by the wayside. We're going to have stronger winds with Jupiter and Gemini than we've ever had, as it will go into the waters, and we're going to activate a new wave by Cancer season. So, you know, those of you who've built proper values, you've built your foundation on proper values, the next 2 weeks are going to harvest that. And then when we step into Gemini season, you're going to see firsthand who's getting swept away by changing ideas, who's introducing new ideas that are entirely capped and people are just believing it, and which one of you are grounded. You're not swayed by new information because you know that what you stand on is real. It's based on truth. It's based on reality. You see that? The integrity of this doesn't, I don't know why I did that. The integrity of this doesn't just fizzle away just because I go crazy with it, because this Gemini season and the rhetoric and the nomenclature from people who are going to be expressing stuff they've been wanting to express forever is enough to change how people think. And if you're not on proper foundations, you're just going to be blown away. Versus if you are, you're going to be able to build on that. And the next stage from instant manifestation is now applying this instant manifestation towards magic crafting. So the universe was preparing for you to really step into this through that. Okay. And it really, it really goes a long way. It really goes a long way towards preparing you for this next, cycle, if anything. Oh my gosh, that's what's up. Oh, nice. Yo, Heavenly Fool, you sent your version of demon slaying, and I appreciate you. Hold on, let me see some. Hey, I appreciate you. Let me see if I can I might play that. I might play that at the end. Shout out to you. I see you added your vocals on it. And I think that's beautiful. If you can, Heavenly Fool, email me those vocals and I can have my engineer kind of add them on there too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I check the emails. I always check the emails more than I check my text messages and social media messages. Lord, I've seen what you've done for others. So you're gonna have people who externally give away their value is externally made. So they're gonna wait for stuff outside to happen before they do it. And then you have people who it's internally defined, or they connect internal and external. So they decide it first, go out and meet it, whether it happens or not. It lives within them. To people who are externalists, this is corny to them, because they don't have any frame of internal reference. They may have been told they don't mean anything or are worth anything their whole life. They may have tried to force things externally, and so they don't believe in themselves. So those type of people hate people like you who know that it's inside, because it's invisible. They can't touch, calculate, see it. They're a muggle-like. They're stupid. Okay, so like they're gonna continually give their stuff away. Their sense of value comes from what things externally give them, and that's why they're not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get blown away by the wayside. A lot of people are not going to be here in 20, 10, 30 years. Okay. That being said, it's not entirely a longevity thing, but just keep that in mind. Okay, because those of you who honor this latent value and don't let external influences shift what has really been, listen, there are things that have been really revealed to you. Up until this point, you've been revealed unconventional insights that aren't in a textbook, aren't in peer-reviewed research, and like God gave you that. So if you're going to give that up for what the devil or some external influence is convincing you to trick you out your position because you want validation from others, because other people are leveraging their respect as if, oh, we can't respect you, this is this, which is them telling you their respect is worthless if they can leverage it that easily. It is what it is. This is your test moving forward as you are in this new world order time and cycle, creating this new cycle, this new authority of this transcendence and innovation of your own identity and being. We're not missing the mark, like I said, we hitting the mark. Okay. That being said, with Neptune and Aries, that's disillusioning faith systems with Saturn and whatnot. For example, you know, for 2,000 years, like I want to write a manga that's as good as the Bible, right? The Bible is the greatest piece of fictional manga canon that has ever existed. It's so good that 2,000 years later, people argue with each other around whether the people in the book actually existed for real or not. You feel me? So it's disillusioning a lot of the illusory stolen legacy, stolen culture, deceptive belief systems that you've been brainwashed your whole life. Who told you that you are a filthy sinner and you need to be redeemed? Who told you that you suffer from depravity because someone ate a fruit and that now you're at your core, you need redemption? Who lied to you and told you that? Because that only started from a certain period of time. You are awakening out of this condition from gospels or narratives that were stolen from older ancient African cultures in order to be repurposed to steal that indigenous native spark from these same people. The truth is that inner spark is within you. You don't need anybody to save you. It is being revealed. That being said, let me make this sure we're clear on this. I believe and know that in the beginning, the Word was with God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That Word became flesh. You feel me? Now, whether that Word being flesh is Yahshua if Jesus isn't real, I still believe the Word became flesh. Do you see how my belief in an eternal Word and a singular ultimate being is independent from the Bible, which attempted to monopolize the concept of truth, and other such Abrahamic religions and other such religious systems that attempt to really explain this? It's all metaphorical, cool, but it's important for you to understand you do not need a middleman to save you between the inner spark you have from within yourself. This is primarily what we teach. It's not as simple as saying, you're a God, I'm a God, everyone's a God. It's that we are all a drop of the infinite ocean of the source, which is God, whatever you want to call it, and you hold the keys to spark that realization. Same as with Hermes and Melchizedek. Melchizedek, which played both a priestly role and a kingly role, something that you don't normally see in the Bible. Melchizedek played that, Moses played that, Jesus played that. You don't see a lot of people else playing that. And this is where, of course, you don't necessarily want to let the sins of the old represent that. When I look at the Pope, I see a representation of this false, watered down structure. When I look at Catholicism, I see a representation of this forced narrative that started off as a blood cult and grew to brainwash millions of people all over the world. When I look at any Abrahamic religion, when I look at the legacy that this is really, they've practiced a form of godliness, but have attempted to basically steal your own energy by having you externalize that focus on an apostolic succession and a God. Christianity does this as well. In order for you to understand what religion has done, if I tell you that Goku was real, because listen, Akira Toriyama just passed. So similar to the Bible, 100 years, 200 years from now, if people started to say, oh yeah, one time there was this guy named Akira Toriyama and he wrote Dragon Ball Z and Goku really existed and he saved our universe in a tournament of power fighting against other universal. A lot of people don't know, by the way, that Goku actually did fight with Frieza and Vegeta. Like, I know that Dragon Ball Z is real. You feel me? A lot of y'all don't really know that. Except the only difference is there's actual evidence that Akira Toriyama really existed. You feel me? So like, if you think it's crazy, if I were to say that Goku really existed because it's set in Japan, you know what I'm saying? Goku is real, first of all. Goku is real. Israel is real. Goku is real. You feel me? That being said, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for certain nations who base their legitimacy on an Old Testament or Torah that has no historicity. And now, certain people are having to use that as a basis of land claiming, amongst other things. These are how the disillusionment of these faith systems back in the day are going to crumble because they were never real. Everyone is waking up from that nightmare. So if I said that Goku was real, you would say I'm crazy. But other people can tell you that Moses was real, Paul was real, Jesus was real. None of these people have historicity, but you will still push forward and believe that. You must wake up from these delusions. Many of you have been woke from that. Keep it moving forward. This is a huge spiritual warfare that, if anything, was done to steal your legacy and then repurpose it, repackage it to you like you're a worthless sinner when you were born perfect, because there's nothing that God created that was not perfect. All right. So it really is what it is. And I don't, you don't have to really believe that. That's just my perspective. I'm not trying to be fatalistic here. If certain people are offended by that, I don't mean offense by that. I'm just trying to remind you, you are not born worthless. You don't have any original sin because of some made up narrative and story. You're meant to connect back to who you are. And this is what this final innovation of natural energy is going to spark, because you have a bioenergy and a unique system that puts you in a position to realistically, wake up to who you've always been, reawaken, quicken, amongst other things. Okay. So now that we're at this full moon, the next thing we're going to see is the sun conjunct Uranus and then sextile Saturn. This is going to prepare the first two parts that have been activated. When we look at the zodiac, as far as effect, the first two signs of each season push us in the direction, strengthen it. And now in Gemini season, we're going to have the effect. Virgo season, we're going to have the summer effect. And then moving forward, right? So with that, Stop it. With that being said, hurry up with my damn croissants. With that being said, right? Thank you. Since birth, this is really dark. This is sick. Since a little child, you're being told you're a worthless sinner because You didn't do it, but someone did something to where you need to be saved. That's really fucked up to tell people as a kid and to have them think that they have to do something external to them to be right within. We're not letting our children inherit that. You feel me? It ends with this generation. Lil Dicky was right when he said in 50 years, that's not going to be rhetoric. You feel me? No one's going to be, we're going to be laughing about this shit. So this is the remnants of the dark ages that, you know, atheists and other such, you know, scientific thinkers, which have their own form of dogmatic religion through materialist reductionist science, still had to break away from this facet of, you know, you feel me? And, you know, we went to one extreme to another extreme, and we're coming back to a balance. All right. That's why I say science without spirituality without science is fallacious. Science without spirituality is lifeless and dull. You put the two together, you have magic, baby. Whether you call it quantum mechanics, I like to call it magic. It is what it is. But that being said, you feel me? You want to get excited because the energy circuit of this transit, the natural bioelectric energy you have been innovating within yourself, it's going to get ready to produce supernatural effects because this is the first time we're doing this with Pluto fully in Aquarius. Okay. And with Pluto in Aquarius, what this is preparing for you to step into is a brand new way you harness magic. That's now purely mental because the Pluto Capricorn 2008 to 2024 chapter is done. You've awakened your body. And now that it's awakening the force, your brain, the nen, the ki, the chi, right? Uranus and Gemini is going to innovate how your thinking aligns with this post-awakened physiology. The resistance circuit that is your body, with the chakra being the resistors, right? The energy centers, or just certain facets in your body. All right. Purely mental equals instant manifestation. So you're going to be experiencing instant manifestation at a higher quality. It's an optical illusion. The optical illusion is going to be you thinking, oh, I couldn't manifest before, and now I'm manifesting. No. You were always doing it before, but you have changed the way you look at yourself in a situation to change what you see and how, okay, I'm allowing myself to have this flow through me because I'm more aligned with my values. I'm not at odds with my values. I'm more accepting of what I am radically worth. Okay. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Listen, I'm crazy as fuck. The reason why I'm crazy is because I have the audacity to believe in myself. And I have the audacity to believe in your potential too. I know in a post-materialist, reductionist world, people don't want to hear that because anybody can say they're limitless. What stops me from going to the bank right now and being like, well, I believe I'm limitless, so you deserve to give me a bank account with $5 million. It doesn't work like that. The bank needs to see physical assets with which it can tie its promissory notes to you. There's a real basis this works. So I can understand on a material sense why this will be scoffed at, but that's just the material monetary system not catching up to who you really are beyond the physical, with which is 0.1%, 99.9+% of you is non-material, it's non-physical. So I am asking you to be crazy enough to acknowledge on a real basis you are worth infinity. Like there is no limit to what you're worth. I want you to be crazy enough to truly believe that even if you have zero money in the bank, your limitless net worth. You have a limitless net worth. Anything physical to align with that will just literally appear in reflection of how valuable you know yourself to be. That is both radical, that is unconventional, and that's fucking crazy. If you're going to realistically tell someone, ain't no bank that can hold my net worth. I am the bank. I invite for you to be a living bank and watch how things just manifest instantly for you. Okay, more so than they already do. That's going to be seen as radical. That's going to be seen as crazy, right? But it's really just the truth. It's really just the truth. We have unlimited credit too. And I don't want you to just say that. Actively demonstrate that. Begin. Now that we're at this full moon, we're going to release these intentions. So let's do this all wealth spell one more time. For those of you who are watching, if you weren't present for the last one we did, it's simple. All you have to say is, I have all power. I have all knowledge. I have all presence. Okay? Don't let anyone take that away from you. This is the all wealth spell. Anyone can say that. So we're going to say that together when I count down from 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 228 plus people saying in unison, I have all power. I have all knowledge. I have all presence. You're immediately going to get resistance from others whose belief systems don't gel with that. So now that everyone said that, I want everyone else to say, I affirm and intend for everyone else's intentions to come true immediately. Now 236 plus people are charging your intention in 3, 2, 1. Say it in your own words. I intend that everyone else's affirmations comes true as well as mine instantly right now. Boom. And that's it. Now, who is going to have a problem with this? People whose beliefs that are not based in reality or historicity at all are going to realize you can't have all power, knowledge, and presence. The God I believe in has that. You were born a sinner. You need this and that. So now your valuing yourself is threatening the belief systems in other people. Those people are agents of the matrix. A system of beliefs, a belief system that has possessed their makeup with which they are representatives, agents to parrot and communicate that. You don't want to get mad at them. They are merely just parroting what has been programmed into their brain, what they've conditioned themselves to give their power away and accept. You don't have to look down on these type of people. You don't have to necessarily hate. Most of these people mean well, even though the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So you want to move forward and see the friction like a video game. When you play a video game, the challenge becomes more. You get more experience points. You're progressing forward to the game. If you're moving forward in life and you get less challenges and less people are trying you, you're going in the wrong place of the video game. You know, if there's more challenges, more haters, more enemies to fight, you're going in the right way of the video game, because that the video game progressively gets more difficult. You sitting in your wealth and affirming that is going to create cognitive dissonance in other people whose beliefs don't align with your sense of self-worth. That triggers an attack on them. And they're going to try and do that to really now control you so they can feel more comfortable about what they believe. So you know, with that in mind, you feel me? It's putting you, yes, I have unlimited amounts of anything. Please. This is what moving forward. Now that we've said these affirmations, I want you to release them to the universe. And 3, 2, 1, release everything we've said to the universe. It's released. We're harvesting this now. You have unlimited amounts of anything. You have to live this before anyone else believes it. They call you crazy till they call you genius. This isn't any special magic powers. We're going to call this latent equity. When you were born, you have latent equity with the universe, and you have an unlimited amount of anything. You co-create with it. You are conditioned and brainwashed to believe that this latent internal equity is external with of course, you know what I'm saying, poverty and what's the word? Not having enough of stuff. I can't believe I just forgot that word. But basically, which, you know, well, you get what I mean. You get what I mean. But basically, they convinced you we don't have enough resources. Everything you need is outside of you. And all you have to do is just decide here and now that that's bullocks. You need to bring back those old curse words. Bullocks. Scarcity. Scarcity. Thank you. They lied to you and reframe the way you look at scarcity instead of an opportunity, is something that is so, even though you have very selfish, greedy people hogging all the resources, that, one revolution can, you know what I'm saying? You have people hiding in bunkers. Hiding in bunkers is not going to save you from the earth swallowing you up with crazy earthquakes. You feel me? Like all sorts of things that really take out of the realization that this planet is conscious. The way you are conscious and you have moods, the planet is conscious, and you cannot run from or hide from Gaia's judgment. This planet is getting ready for judgment. One thing that I channeled that I think Pisces and Aquarius have channeled, humanity had a group test and humanity failed the group test. There's not one group of people that I'm going to say we can blame for that. We all failed equally. You know how some of you do the work in a group test, but you still fail the group test because other people didn't do stuff. So there's going to be the individuals who may get exonerated because they did the work, but collectively, Saturn met with the North Node. The North Node looked at Saturn like, hey, what's the next 20 years looking like? The North Node told the Reaper of Saturn, hey, they failed the group test. Gaia is going to begin her judgment, y'all. And that's going to start as soon as Saturn goes into Aries. That's going to look like world conflict around the world, famine, pestilence, okay? And when you survive this, you are surviving this because you're meant to repopulate this new world. All the children who are born after 95 are meant to create this new world, okay? And that's why you have some Pisces who got that North Node Pisces download, and they've been weeping for the collective. They've been weeping for the collective. They've been seeing and dreaming and just understanding. That's why a lot of Pisces went silent, because they know a lot of people are fucked. They can understand the fate of humanity. And that's why I asked you before, you feel me? You had Cro-Magnon, you had Neanderthal, right? These are entire species that had a beginning and an end. So who fed you the idea that Homo sapiens would live forever? Did you ever think that we might be witnessing the end of the age of humanity? We might be witnessing the return of the gods. We might be witnessing an evolution of the chain of Homo sapien within DNA genetics, to where a new form of humanity evolves, whether due to changes in the planet, extra heat. Do you feel me? So the way Pisces might be weeping, Aquarius has received it too. Aquarius is just like, I told y'all. Y'all thought I was crazy. I told y'all. Yup. Pluto Aqua babies. Okay. So yes, at some point, humanity had chosen a path for destruction. At some point, the collective conscious and unconscious of humanity, collectively, that's where I say we can point the blame at one group of people, but this is relative to the collective unconscious actions that as a group, we have led ourselves down. At some point, we chose the path towards destruction. So it means that if we continue along this path, the earth will be compromised and the planet will be destroyed. So the planet is going to clear itself so that it doesn't destroy. It's like a self-cleansing system. This is a theory that I channeled, and I'm sharing this because it's still variable. If something happens to change fate miraculously, we may not go down this path. I want to open this up as a concept. It doesn't mean that the world has to end overnight, right? But think about that. Are we witnessing the end of humanity? Is it possible the earth may reset in an effect to save it? This could be the best thing that ever happened to us, to get us out this path, right? Yep. I just finished Fire Force too. The Evangelist, the Great Cataclysm. They're definitely on to something. That leads into Soul Eater. Shout out to you, Elisha. I literally just finished season 2 of, I'm on season 3 right now. But like that being said, spontaneous Kundalini combustion, all these themes, just to kind of open up the concept here. Because when you look at it like that, you start to realize many of you are here for an important reason, where certain things may happen to where you are needed to repopulate the earth. Everything that you have learned that in this world and society didn't fit in, maybe for a new world where the people who are remaining are meant to take all of this knowledge and whatnot and move forward. By the way, spontaneous combustion is a real thing that is still unexplainable, that nobody knows why it happens, as rare as it may happen. Okay. So with that being said, guys, let's now go into, of course, the next 2 weeks ahead. All right. The reason why this is very significant is you're going to be experiencing a very powerful blossoming, all right, of the nature of this value you have activated and integrated. And the Uranus in Taurus innovation of this unconventional value is going to uplift you out of brainwashing. A lot of you may have been wondering, I want you to comment a fire sign emoji if you have had goals and plans, but you found yourself doing nothing. Some of you might feel like you're being lazy. Some of you might feel like, oh, you don't have the drive, but I want you to comment a fire sign if you haven't been doing anything. You haven't felt like doing anything. You might feel guilty because it's like you're not contributing anything around you. You just kind of want to do nothing. Obviously, that's not going to apply to everyone because some people are pushing themselves and being busy. Your body is forcing you to unlearn. Contemplate the fact that since you were born, you've been put on a hamster wheel. You've gone through school and been taught bullshit. You've been put on this fake lie that you have to work and you have to build a country's GDP and you have to be productive towards a Western psychological view of what success means, which is not based on anything real or true, but destruction and consumption of resources and taking advantage of other people. This is your own body and subconscious telling you stop doing shit. You're unlearning all of that. You're not being lazy. You're resting. The greatest thing you can do for yourself is to rest, okay? Especially if you're a boomer or if you're born in Gen X, they brainwashed y'all the most. They tried to brainwash the millennials. It didn't work. They called us entitled. And Gen Z is not standing for this bullshit. You feel me? I'm not trying to say that it's all bad. I'm not trying to say that we should just take for granted the stuff that older generations worked for us. But you have to break out of this whole illusion that there's anything more you have to do in order to build up another person's collective dream. That has always been bullshit. That's why they hit you with this sense of guilt or shame. Oh, you're not a hard worker. But like, who are you working for? What are you working for? They slapped on you a nationality. They slapped onto you a culture. They slapped onto you. And when I say they, I mean your society, your parents, your family. You are slapped on all these titles that you have. You have a nationality. You have a race. You are not these things. What you are is intangible and eternal. So all these things that were never you, they slapped on you and said, oh, you're fulfilling this, which is to just create more of a persistent illusion. And that's why some of you are being forced to chill, to unlearn everything you've been taught. And you're going to feel this dissonance because you feel, well, I have to do something. No, you don't have to fucking do anything. You have to align with who you are and with the inside. And then shit just starts happening to you. You have inspired action. That's why I love to tell the story about how I became the peace dealer. I was in a position where I had no resources and they all just came to me because I was doing what I was meant to do. To where I was not in a position to just take that leap of faith. I had to. I had no choice. You feel me? So you really don't have to lift a finger when you're fully aligned with who you are. And this is what the system wants to deceive you about. So they put stuff in your face like you're not successful as this person. You're not successful as this person. They put a face on what success looks like, but it's all aligned with lies. And then they plaster, we do this for family. We do this for the better of all. But what is your legacy if not built on dead bodies, genocided cultures, and blood that has been spilled throughout the entire earth? I think spiritually at a subconscious soul level, a lot of you don't want to be a part of that. And that's why God is separating you. That's why you are isolating yourself, so that you do not get caught up in this collective influence, and you could be prepared for the time that it is, which is now, to actually step into and create this new world. All right. So with that being said, with everything we've really uncovered, right, this puts you in a position to realistically harvest the wealth you've always had. So for all of you who've done the all wealth spell or have just done this today, well, let me tell you what to look forward to. Right now, we're going to have the moon leave Scorpio. It's going to enter Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius is going to give you an ascended Sagittarius understanding moon, okay, of how your physical senses are transforming. Let's explain that, okay? The moon will be making a 210-degree Scorpio signature opposite this expansion of your mindset, and then also coinciding with this mastery of your belief systems. We're getting ready to leave Noah's Ark as we're stepping into the new world, okay? This moon in Sagittarius represents the mind's eye, and then Taurus is your physical senses. So what's the difference between your physical senses and your mind's eye? If we did not have Sagittarius, you would process stuff, but you wouldn't know what it means. You would not interpret data that you input through your chorea. You wouldn't have the gnosis in order to make sense and perceive. So Taurus represents the actual physical senses, but Sagittarius is the meaning of what your mind is interpreting. So when we have the moon in Sagittarius, now that we are harvesting this strengthened, innovative, supernatural quality of your brain, Colby, you are the ritual. So you didn't miss a thing. You just being here. Pisces, your presence is more than enough. The full moon harvest of this energy, when the moon goes into Sagittarius, it is transforming your physical senses. So the experience of you interpreting your physical senses is transforming to update how your interpretation of what you're physically picking up has updated, has innovated, if that makes sense. Integrated information. Thank you. Gemini through Sag. And why is this important? It goes through Virgo. Virgo is one of the most important zodiac signs in the zodiac because we're in a Virgo dimension. Integration is through Virgo. And then belief is through Pisces. So once we have the idea, we make it real, integrate the habits through Virgo, and then we interpret the analysis of those facts through Sag, see into the meaning of it, affects beliefs, and we go back around again. This is the integrated information axis of magic, repetition through Virgo, doing it over and over until it feels real and it feels natural, and you feel it, break it in, and then you demonstrate it. So the reason why that's significant is now this innovation of your natural senses is all auto nervous. A lot of these, facets occur at a level in a way that realistically challenges you moving forward to realistically, now when the moon is in Sag, transform a lot of what wasn't visible to now starting to see, oh, this is how my body has been transforming. So the moon in Sagittarius is going to show you this. This is going to transform what naturally you've been processing and thinking you've been seeing towards now this higher interpretation toward the ascended higher bird ego level understanding of this value that now we took to the market with the moon in Virgo. When the moon is in Capricorn, we'll be coming into the maximum utilization of not only this value, but as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the final conjunction of Uranus in Taurus. Okay, this I think is going to be very significant. It's going to be on my rising. Shout out to the late Taurus risings. But this is definitely going to be the last installation that's going to spill out into you experiencing the innovation of how quickly your brain can process information through Gemini. All right. If we go back 100 years from this point, as you can see, Uranus was just leaving Pisces. So by the 30s and 40s, it was in Taurus. Okay. And as you can see, of course, now that we're going to have this conjunction here, very accordingly, this is going to put you in a position to innovate how radically the wealth you come into is. A lot of you are going to be coming to unexpected windfalls of income, but it's not coming out of nowhere. Seemingly minor actions you've taken over the past year and since 2018 are going to really rush through into a very quick, expression of said value. So when the moon is in Capricorn, after Sagittarius transforms the perception and interpretation around your wealth and worth, Capricorn is going to practically and tangibly form this real nature so that the Sag signature, you see what you can do with this value. Right as we activate this final 365-day cycle that won't come back around until it's in Gemini next year. And if you want proof of this, why, let me show you. Boom, baby. The next conjunction we're going to have is after the new moon in Taurus next year, where we'll subsequently have that conjunction, as you can see, in Gemini. That's why next year is so important, guys. We're going to have the conjunction to Neptune and Saturn starting off the New World Order contract. You're going to sign your independent contracts. Then we're going to step into the smart era. And who knows what conflicts we're embroiled into by then. But it's going to be very exciting because this is where, for those of you who are born in Gen X, in Pluto Virgo, the boomers, in Pluto Scorpio, the millennials, you're going to start to see a much more supernatural expression of latent power and abilities you've been had. And then if you were born Gen Z from 95 moving forward or after 2008, you guys were already born with this advanced energy. It's just going to activate, and you guys are going to be leading the rest of us because we support the youth as the fire and then the wisdom of the oldest pillars to support that. Okay. Gemini is going to be up. Cancer is going to be leveling up. Pluto, Aquarius is going to be way more diabolical. Aries is going to be the new face over the next 30 years. All right. We're stepping into what these new faces are. So it's definitely very, very, very important. Okay. And it puts you in a position moving forward. By the time we activate this conjunction, this is what's going to now, for the first time for some of you, actually be shocked. Like, whoa, this is consistently instant. And this is sourced from your own natural energy. Maybe at Planck length instances that you can't really perceive, but through consistency, you'll start to understand your rhythm and notice, oh, there is some causality here. When the moon goes into Aquarius, we're going to now signal the end of this transit by concluding the cycle. So I want to show you this right here. We're going to close Taurus season the way we started. Do you remember we started Taurus season at 0 degrees Taurus, 0 degrees Aquarius, or 1 degree Aquarius, 1 degree Taurus? Now we're ending it at the max. Why is this important? We started the season taking action and then coming into an initial evaluation like, okay, you're giving this to us and we know that this is what it's beginning to be worth. Then you built its value and you're revisiting it and you're like, okay, this is the maximum knowledgeable 29-degree moon and aqua understanding of the innovative, unconventional awareness of everything it's worth connected to Saturn, tying everything you believe towards this material expression of the intangible nature of your beliefs. That Aries was the actions you took towards the direction to make it real, to where now you've made it real towards Gemini that's going to produce the true initial experience of changing your ideas to now experience what this value is. So this is where the magic begins, y'all. So at this point in the 20th of May is going to really signal the end of Taurus season. It is at this point, I do want to remind you guys, okay, I do have on Hipsy the ability for you guys to, let me see if I can get this up. I do have on Hipsy the ability for you guys to schedule one-on-one conversations with me. So for those of you guys who would personally like to talk with me one-on-one, you are more than welcome. Go to hipsy.com/the peace dealer. You can schedule phone sessions, chat sessions. If you want to talk over video, we can schedule that as well. You could talk one-on-one. For those of you who want insight about this Taurus season, about the next 2 weeks, what value are you manifesting? I highly recommend doing this. Now, I also highly recommend you take advantage of my sale. I do have a 70% off mass sale until the end of Gemini season. Okay. Check out my testimonials. I've been doing this for over 10 years, over 300 reviews and still 5 stars, which is very rare for anyone in this field because we really do this. We're not just giving you cold reading. We're not just plugging and playing in what, oh, well, I think Scorpio means this and this planet means this. We're giving you solid math. We're telling you exactly what angle is being made, the phase of that angle, how that actually plays out in your life. This is why we're accurate all the time. All right. So, forget these quasi, fallacious things said by astrophysicists and scientists who've never studied astrology, telling you it's not worth it to pay astrologers, but they can't tell you what their chart ruler is. They don't know what their moon sign is. They don't know what sign comes after Sag. This is, we actually have authority over this field. So I highly recommend taking advantage of this sale. Everything is buku affordable right now. So this is going to prepare for the app that will launch. And then for those of you who are part of the app, you'll get discounted readings regardless through the app. For those of you who are already subscribed to YouTube, if you schedule a reading, let me know. I will change it to $1 a minute. For those of you who are members on YouTube or Instagram, you get the Hipsy paper call $1 a minute. Okay. So yes, with that being said, you can get the 70% off readings on my website at thepeacedealer.com. And outside of that, yeah, y'all, once we step into this Gemini season portion, prepare yourself. I don't want to say all hell's going to break loose, but it's definitely going to escalate in craziness. All right, I'm just letting you know that right now. People are going to be emboldened to say whatever, and this is necessary. Even if it's evil, it's a necessary evil. Like, this is the necessary conflict that's going to step forward. Yes, above and beyond. For those of you who are members, like Above and Beyond, please email me before you schedule. But even if you do schedule, I can still change the price. But if you email me, so you can schedule the reading, but just email me beforehand anyway, so that I know that you're the one who scheduled that, and then I'll change the price before we talk. Okay. So that being said, can I plug my shirt link here? Yes, actually, Colby has. Bro, I'm going to be one of the first people that buys your deck. I hope you understand. And I'm going to be using that deck because I already like the Death card and the Magician card you got there. Sloth Soul Tarot. He already has the shirts. I'm thinking of getting the Magician card and the Death card one. Definitely looking forward to supporting that. But he's opening a tarot line, and he has some really dope shirts of each tarot card. If you definitely want to check that out, I'm definitely going to cop one soon myself. And yes, salaciousness. All right. We want to look at, of course, Mars in Leo. Mars in Leo is the whistleblower. It is the 7 of Wands. So the reason why you see James O'Keefe, the reason why you see whistleblowers stepping up to expose this stuff is because it never stops, bro. The truth never stops. But you need to pay attention to this happening during this period. What seems like it's not that big a deal or is suppressed is a bigger deal than you could ever imagine. Follow those threads, because this is what is socially challenging the value you have individually defined, especially square Mercury and Taurus, so that moving forward, this will prepare for that Leo season. And of course, as we step into Gemini season, what's going to happen? Well, the moon's going to be in Pisces. The moon in Pisces is going to revisit how our beliefs have changed, these belief systems here that will begin to align with this initial expression of our thought process and how we are experiencing the preloaded effects to the actions we took and the value we loaded in these actions and strengthened with. So this is the first effect. Okay, we have the sextile to Neptune. Then the moon's going to go into Aries. The harvest, right? The conclusion of this harvest of value is going to conclude relative to who you authentically feel should truly be around you, relative to the ideas you're expressing. What are the authentic, raw, individual identities that align with these thoughts you're expressing? Then we have that balsamic phase in Taurus with Mercury. That's not only going to revisit this innovation, but then boom, we have the new moon in Gemini, where Mercury is going to catch up to the sun. One of the dopest epiphanies we're going to have. We have the sextile to Saturn that's now in Aries. And this new moon is going to be one to remember. So that's something to keep in mind for the next 2 weeks ahead. I'm so ready for this Gemini season as well. And that's a good question. I don't know if we can do that with StreamYard, but if you share it, I could still share the link and put it on there. But I don't know if I think you could put the HTTPS to make it clickable. But that being said, guys, that's what to expect over the next 2 weeks. So now that we're harvesting what you put in for the past 2 weeks, you reap what you sow. So if the past 2 weeks we did the all wealth spell, but you wavered, right? And you gave your power away to other people. Like you could tell the universe, I'm all wealthy. But when you dealt with people and they treated you like less than you are, if you enabled that, if you didn't fight for it, if you enabled that, if you allowed people to treat you as less than you are, if you allowed people to disrespect you, if you allowed people to invest in you for less than you're worth, that's what you're going to harvest. Doesn't matter how much you've said, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm rich. That's supposed to be a supplement to the actions that reflect that. You put both that together, that's magic. So we say, I have all power, I have all knowledge, I have all presence. And when that person tries to undermine you, you dismiss that. You don't entertain that. When people try to look at you as less than you are, you correct them. You don't entertain that. You stand on your value. For those of you who did that, you are going to have a most wonderful, plentiful harvest starting now over the next 2 weeks. That's going to lead into this activation of magic with Jupiter at the end of Gemini to show you how since last year, May, we have evolved all of this. And when I say last year, May, I really do mean last year, May. We had one of the most epic quadruple conjunctions ever in Taurus, as you can see. Boom, baby. So this is going to revisit everything from there, how your brain and mindset has quintessentially evolved, okay, to prepare you for this new moon. And that's going to prepare you for the new wave, baby. July, late June, July is one of the most important periods of our human history because it's new liquidity. It's America that's going to have its birthday with the Jupiter return or with Jupiter on its sun. America's going to level up. All cancers are going to level up. All right. Look at Shannon Sharp. Look at Elon Musk. Right. A lot of what their cases are looking like can go the other way. They might actually. So knowing Jupiter is going to go in their sign, I think things are going to be favorable for them. Even though it doesn't always have to be favorable, I think it's going to expand more what's being hidden or whatnot. So don't count these people out just because you see people, preying on them now. But that being said, something to keep in mind, Venus is in Aries as of present, connecting with Mars to add more passion to how you demonstrably express the passion that, of course, represents who you authentically are. Okay. So with that being said, stay blessed. In any ways you can sexually connect the yin and yang with a sexual partner or aspects of yourself to circulate this will be a really good practice to do over the next 2 weeks to strengthen that energy. But other than that, don't let anybody play you. Don't let anybody second guess what your value and worth is. We're harvesting this. You're going to experience great breakthrough. And yes, y'all, until next time.